Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for checking out this video here on Shows, Style, and Spirit. I am Ebony, of course, and as you can see from the title of this video, I will be recapping the latest episode of Love and Marriage Huntsville. I know that a lot of you are blacking out the show, so at least then this gives you a chance to find out, what happened episode by episode. And we're on episode 10 of season 7. And Martell, he actually admits to sending a DM to Trisha, one of the newest cast members of Love and Marriage Huntsville. He has the nerve to come for the Melometers. We're going to talk about that because I feel like he is giving Melody way too much credit for anything that Melometers do. He almost sees her like a God complex. I'm going to focus on something that he says. And I want to talk about Moses' former life. He's come a really long way. And, growing up in the hood, it can be really, really quick. And the Fletchers, I don't know what is going on with that family. So we definitely have a lot to talk about. Now, before we get started, I ask that you all please hit the like button on this video. Even if you're feeling a little different and you hit the dislike button, either one of those work the same, meaning that YouTube will push this video out through its algorithm, recommending it to more people who enjoy discussing the various topics surrounding Love and Marriage Huntsville. And if you have not already done so, please subscribe to Shows, Style, and Spirit. I would definitely love to have you. And everything that I'm saying in this video is alleged and just my opinion. And the Copyright Act of 1976 says that my fair use commentary on this soundbite of what Martell says about the Melometers is allowed for criticism. All right, so as you can see, the episode opens up with Nell going to visit Chris Fletcher at his real estate office. She is saying to him that they actually, right now, they have like 2 to 3 kids who are asking for money right now. It is stressing Nell out. Now, these children are not teenagers that are like asking for money to pay for senior dues or to get homecoming outfits. These children are not in college, they're not in undergrad living in the dorms, and they're asking for money for groceries and their phone bill or to buy books. A lot of these children, some of these children, I don't even think are in their 20s. I think Lance Fletcher is Nell's firstborn. So he's at least, because I believe he and Lexi are just 6 months apart. So he's in his early 30s. And then we have some other kids. I think everyone, because Kayla is graduated, I believe everyone is past the age of 22, 23. Okay. And they, as far as I know, they have jobs in addition, but they are still asking the Fletchers for money. So in this scene, they are talking about how they're going to have to gather the kids together and tell them that they have to cut them off financially because it is bringing stress into their household. And I think that that's crazy. How is it that you've taught your kids luxury? You've taught your kids to enjoy the finer things in life, the vehicles, the designers, but you have not taught them money management? In my opinion, your job, you work a job to make sure that all of your basic needs are met. Then your disposable income is how you entertain yourself. So I don't use money that's dedicated to the mortgage and utilities to entertain myself at the movie theater and to take myself out to dinner. That is income after all of the household needs are taken care of. And I have a feeling that her kids, when they work and they get paid, they are entertaining themselves first. They are satisfying that urge to shop and to have new things, expensive things. And then they rely on the Fletchers to cover the roof over their head. Because when she has the powwow with the kids, she's going to talk about how, it's hard on us when multiple people are asking us to help with the rent. And so I feel like they're spending their money on the wrong things first and then expecting their parents to take care of the major things. But we're going to circle back around to this at the end of the recap. So then we see where also we know, because I did a video on this, where Chris says that I'm going to show Sonny and Moses a house, and Nell wonders if that is a conflict of interest because they're supposed to be friends with Destiny. I just feel like Nell, I don't think she's the brightest bulb in the package, and she doesn't get business, but Chris does. Because in this next scene, this is the property that he is going to show to Sonny and Moses. Martell meets him there because Martell built the home. And he's telling Martell that Sonny and Moses, they want to look at properties. He's not sure if it's a property that they want to live in or one that they would want to purchase and then flip or purchase to rent out to someone. So he's not sure how they're going to use the home just yet. Martell is saying, have you talked to Destiny? And Chris is saying, I don't know why I would have to get Destiny's permission to sell anyone a house. And I totally agree with Chris. He is a businessman. He works off of commission as a real estate agent. So his business, I'm sure, is mostly generated off of referrals. He does not have time to think, oh, maybe I should not show this couple a home because the guy used to date Destiny off and on for 15 years. That is ridiculous. And I think Martell sometimes he does not respect Chris to even let those words come out of his mouth. It's one thing if Nell says it because she says dumb stuff, but I feel like when Martell says dumb stuff to Chris, he's low key disrespecting him. Because if Martell could pass an exam and have his real estate license, he would not ask Destiny for permission to sell Sonny and Moses the house. And he knows good and doggone well that as the builder, he would love to sell the property. So keep it real, Martell. So then Sonny and Moses arrive. And so this is one of two outfits in this episode that I do not understand why Sonny would put on. The pink over the knee boots are just so unnecessary. I don't know the weather at the time in Huntsville. I would imagine this scene was filmed. Well, no, she's wearing shorts. So even if Alabama can get really, really cold at times, which I think sometimes very briefly they can experience cold temperatures, she's wearing shorts. So shorts with over the knee boots, it's just giving music video outfit. Like you're gonna be in like Lil Bootsy, one of his music videos. Like why? And Moses, you didn't want to maybe tell your wife maybe to ditch the boots. I just don't understand. But that's one of two outfits that's gonna be questionable. But anyway, Chris Fletcher is showing them the property. And they actually say that they are thinking about moving to Huntsville because they want to start a family. And they think that Huntsville would be a great place to raise kids. And again, I made a video a couple days ago where, Martell asks them, about Destiny. And Sonny says, I understand if she's in her feelings, but I'm not going to put up with the disrespect. Martell said that he could be neutral. And Chris Fletcher called Martell out on his willingness to be neutral towards Sonny, Moses, and Destiny. But he does not expect people to be neutral when it comes to him and Melody. And Martell tried to act like the situations are different, as if Melody does things to him to where people should not be neutral. It is absolutely ridiculous. But we will circle back to Sonny and Moses and their alleged plans to move to Alabama. Do you think it's just for storyline, or do you think that it is sincere? So then we see where Stormy and Martell have a scene. Martell meets Stormy at her warehouse and they talk about Trisha And Stormy said that she felt like when she filmed the scene with Martell and Trisha, the energy between them was giving that they knew each other. She said it seemed like you two knew each other in a different way. She did not say a biblical way, but that's what I was thinking that Stormy might have been thinking. Well, Martell was like, I mean, she's been over to the crib before. And Stormy is like, well, why would she come over to the crib? He's like, just to hang out, just to kick it. And she's like, okay, why would she do that? And then the producer asked Martell in his confessional, were you interested in Trisha? And he said that he was interested enough to send her a DM. So the question is, what happened when she went over to Martell's home? Did they just play video games? Did they just Netflix and chill? Which sometimes Netflix and chill can turn into Netflix and fuck. Did they do anything or did they just watch a movie? What do you think? He's totally acting like he did not know her. Okay, to my brother knew her. Okay, we're cool. She's been over to my house. I sent her a DM. I think that Martell really does not want the smoke from Ken, the chocolate Incredible Hulk. And I totally get that. I would not want smoke from him either. But if he is adding details this late in the game, what other details is Martell leaving out? And Trisha, girl, so is the marriage with your husband is really not feasible because he's fine? I would say if that's feasible, work on that versus getting with Martell. That is just a rabbit hole that you do not want your hole to go down. Okay, but in addition to talking about Trisha in this scene, Martell and Stormy, of course, they bring up the Melometers. And it starts off with Martell bringing up his arrest.
It's because I saw mugshot. It was everywhere. The domestic violence, harassment, communication. Yeah. I got something to tell you. I had to go to jail for the same thing. Harassing communication. Really? Yeah. A Melometer came here to my warehouse like over a year ago. Yeah. When I was here, she had been all on social media looking for me, trying to disprove the fact that I'm successful, that I have a business, that I have a warehouse. I was just yelling. I was like, y'all some crazy ass bitches, like, just giving stalker. Like, why do this over a TV show? She recording the whole time, though. She was recording. Ow. And got a damn warrant for my arrest for harassing communication. I'm telling people how easy that is. It's so easy because how can you stalk me and then I got right. That's gonna get thrown out. You get what I'm saying? That is so sad. If anyone knows what Storm is going through, it's me. These Melometers are unhinged. She created them and she named them. Even though it's no excuse for this group of people's behavior, I feel that Melody still could hold them responsible. Yeah, how's your relationship though? Y'all cool? We talk. Yeah. But when we met, it was like, hey girl, like it was a lot of energy, like friendly as yeah. That just ended out the blue, nowhere, can't make sense of it. I'm one of them people like be direct with me. If you mad at me because I like Destiny and I think she cool, speak on that. Yeah. But don't try to gaslight me like my phone don't work because I changed my number. So no, I don't have an issue with her. Yeah. You know? If anything, I got respect for anybody who's doing something. Right. But at the same time, I have to protect myself as well. Yeah. And that's what I do. Right. When it comes to it. I'm with you. How you feel you gonna move forward? With what? With all the crazy stuff that's taking place? You know what? When you really win it, can't never with you, man. It don't even matter. They'll see in due time. Yeah, that's what's up. And you gonna do the same? Because I'm so proud of you and happy that you out here building these houses. Yeah, people be out here standing on your top. Right. And I don't be sweating it. I can't sweat it.
Okay, I have said this time and time again. Melody Cherie, she cannot control the thoughts, words, and actions of adults, her adult fans. She is not the only celebrity to have a fan base, and celebrities cannot control their fans' opinions or what they think, say, and do. And my opinions are not necessarily those of Melody Cherie Rogers. And she does not influence my commentary. She does not tell me what to say at all. And it's unfair to Melody's fans to group us all together. Everyone is not doing the same things. Everyone has not called retailers like Walmart and Target about Stormy. Not all fans of Melodies are talking about anyone's kids or saying anything inappropriate or violating boundaries. One thing that I wanted to talk about was Martell's confessional, where he says these Melometers are unhinged and Melody created them and named them. It's almost like he sees Melody as a god. Some people, like Wanda, have said that the Melometers see Melody Cherie as a god. We all know that that's not true. But it seems like Martell sees her as one. I was like, am I reading Genesis chapter 1 when God made the sea and the lands and the animals and he named them, and on the seventh day he rested? I mean, Martell said Melody created the Melometers and she named them. Like, I feel like you were quoting scripture almost, but I think that he's giving Melody way too much credit for any behavior of any adults whom she does not know personally. And I think that it's important that at least I do my part and I continue to say that she cannot control anyone. And a few people does not represent the entire group of fans. Then we see where Sonny and Moses, they actually have dinner with Kimmy and Maurice. Kimmy and Maurice arrived first, and Kimmy was talking about, I guess, like her war within between being cool with Sunny and friends with Destiny, which I did not know that you were so super friendly with Destiny, Kimmy. You've never expressed that before. In fact, the last time that we saw Destiny on this show was the season 5 reunion, and you actually dragged her for being difficult to film with. You said that producers would ask you, Kimmy, to try and get Destiny to open up on camera because the producers could not. And you said you would tell producers, I'm trying, it's hard. You dragged Destiny. And now all of a sudden, she is your friend. And Sunny meets with them and they talk. I kind of feel like this was really a scene to talk about being Black in America, growing up in a very urban area, growing up in the hood, and how quick it can be. It's really hard, in my personal individual opinion, it's very hard when there is not a dad in the home, when there's not that additional income, when there's not that additional parent to discipline the kids and to teach them what they need to know, to teach the Black boys what they need to know, to work an honest job and or get an education before you have the babies. You know, things are not being taught for some people, and then when they're sick of being impoverished, they may do things, illegal things, to try and compensate for the money that's not coming into the household. And Moses talked about his grandma having like 8 or 9 grandkids, raising them, and he would be in the streets. And he went to jail when he was 18, got out when he was 19. He could not let the streets go. He went back to prison, and he did a total of 15 years in prison. And so that's a huge chunk of his adult life behind bars, you know, and I feel like prison has totally just paralyzed the Black community. Now, in Moses' case, he does not have any children. So he does not apply to that situation where, like, you may meet someone and they'll say, I never met my dad because by the time I was born, he was already in prison. This girl who used to, before I became a lockhead, before I locked my hair, the last year of me being a loose head, I just got box braids and passion twist, over and over. And the girl who did them, she said, like, my dad is in prison right now, and he's been in prison my entire life, and that is quite an experience to walk around this earth. You've never met one of your parents who helped to conceive you because they've been locked up. And it is a story that's way too common for a lot of people in our community. And then it can just become cyclical where either maybe you do not go to prison, but maybe you become like a teenage parent. And then there's having to raise kids and provide for them without the education, without at least a professional job that pays enough. And it's just so difficult. And then even if you make it out of the hood and you go to college, if your parents weren't making six figures for several years and they could save up money for your education, then you had to take out student loan debt. Then it's still tough in the US of A because it's so expensive to live, and you have your normal monthly bills, the mortgage, the utilities, the insurance, the groceries, and the student loan debt. Or maybe it's even hard to qualify for a mortgage because of the student loan debt. Like it can just, it's, if you start off in poverty and in the hood, it's the odds are already stacked against us. And then you're clawing and fighting and working so hard against those odds. So I just really felt Moses with his life experience. And Maurice chimed in, being from Pontiac, Michigan. It's about 30 minutes north of Detroit. And he talked about, when his dad was in the house, they were doing okay. But when he went to jail, money was tight and his mom was a single parent, and that's rough. And, Pontiac, just for context, it's closer to Flint. So Flint is even further north from Detroit, but Pontiac is closer to Flint. There was the Flint water crisis. I remember Netflix did a documentary on Flint. It's that documentary is probably 10 years old now, but it's called Flint Town on Netflix, and you can get more about that area as well. So kudos to all of us who survived living in the hood, and you were even able to get a job and move and take care of yourself. And so that's a huge accomplishment. And that is something that Sonny says in this scene, to make it out of the neighborhood that they were from is a huge accomplishment. And at first, Maurice tried to like shade them because they were saying, well, we don't want to live in North Huntsville. And Maurice goes, you don't want to live there, but you're from like the hood in St. Louis. But he sure did calm that down after he learned Moses had been in prison for a total of 15 years. He already sees his body. So Maurice know that he didn't want none of that. Okay. But I thought that this was a significant conversation. And this was the other outfit. I should have gotten a picture of Sunny standing up. If you can see, it looks like a white knit dress. And then she has this black part that's on the outside of the dress. It's meant to look like a vest, and it like comes right underneath her breast. It is just so, I don't like it. I'm like, I don't know if she knows how to dress. Beautiful girl, but I did not like those two outfits. So then we see where Chris and Nell Fletcher, they gather their kids. Nell cooked lasagna, and they are saying how there are things that they want to do financially, but they can't because they're always handing out money to their children. And who was at this dinner was their niece Kiki, their daughter Kayla, Lance, and Chris Jr. And when they were saying that they were cutting them off, Nell said, the only people whom I will put in front of me are my grandkids. I know that Lance has a grandchild and Lexi has children. Now, their niece Kiki, she started crying. She said, I don't like it when you say that, you're gonna do that because I don't have anybody. I don't have a mom. I don't have a dad. Nell was apologizing to her. I don't think that that was the best thing to do because, like, you have to, the term is tough love, but you should want them to learn money management. You should want them to fully function in their adulthood on a very optimal level. So, Nell was saying in her confessional that they are like a mom and dad to Kiki. Kiki considers her cousins to be her siblings. And Chris Fletcher says, I think that she gets so emotional because her mother and father, they do actually still exist in the physical sense, but they are not in Kiki's life. So he said, although Kiki tells herself that we're like her parents and her cousins are like her siblings, also in her mind, she knows that she's not their biological family. So I do have compassion and empathy towards Kiki. At the same time, even if she was their biological child, they all need to learn money management. And again, I think that Chris and Nell, they've taught their kids to enjoy luxury items. And although they work, in my opinion, I'm guessing that their money, their net income from their jobs, they apply towards entertaining themselves and buying expensive things, and then they expect their parents to actually fund, paying their rent and their insurance, groceries, whatever else it is that they need. And what I thought to be hilarious was, okay, so also in this scene, Nell Fletcher says, how about we do therapy and maybe we can figure some things out. Chris Jr. goes, well, I think you should talk to a therapist, but we don't need to be there. It can just be you. And Nell is like, I don't need to do that. And then on the upcoming scenes, we see where they're going to do group therapy as a family with Dr. Francis. I'm so excited. I love Dr. Francis. Can't wait to see him again. And they're actually going to turn the tables. They're going to say, she only listens to respond, not to understand. So I think they're going to make it about now. They're going to make it about now. And the last time I saw this was on The Real Housewives of Atlanta when Nene Leakes was like, oh, I think we should all do therapy. It was the season that Claudia Jordan was on, season 7. And when they all got to therapy, they all talked about how they felt like Nene did them wrong. And she was the one who organized the therapy session. So now Nell Fletcher has come up with the idea that they should do therapy as a family. And they're going to all tell Dr. Francis how mean she is, I guess. I'm like, oh my gosh. So also in next week's episode, we are going to see Trisha's husband, and she's going to film a scene with him. He's also going to film with Martell. So we'll have to see. We did not see Melody Cherie in this episode. Y'all know I do not like that. The vibe is always off, and I get it. Melody has a lot going on. I know we're not going to always see her in every single scene, but my goodness, it just feels weird to me. But for those of you who did watch, what did you all think of this episode? For those of you who are parents to teenagers and up, what are some things that you teach your kids about money? What do you think is missing here with the Fletcher's children and money management? Also, what do you think about Moses' life in and out of prison? What do you think about the Black experience in America when you do start off in the hood? Now, when I went to high school and college, I did have classmates who grew up in suburbia. So I know that every single Black person does not have that experience. But for those of us who come from the hood, what do you think about our life experience and how we have to work so hard to make it out of the hood? So, and of course, what did you think about what Martell said, giving Melody a godlike complex and his take on the Melometers? Thank you all so much for watching this video. I really appreciate the support. Please hit the like button on this video as it is a free way of supporting the channel. And please subscribe to Shows, Style, and Spirit if you have not already done so. I hope that you all have a fantastic Sunday, and I will talk with you soon. Bye.